Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. It is your purchase and pricing online concierge line straight to me for your questions about buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. My email is tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Today, we're discussing a 2019 limited edition of 8 pieces based on the 44mm titanium FP Journe Linesport Octa Sport. This is the Octa Sport limited edition with a lustrous and bottomless blue glossy dial by FP Journe's own dial factory. The timepiece has a wonderfully subtle fetching appearance, and it is remarkably svelte, being 44mm in diameter, but at the same time only 10.9mm thick, 51.7mm from lug to lug across the wrist, and with an aluminum movement, titanium case, bracelet, and clasp to match. The watch is super light on the wrist. My wrist is 16 centimeters in circumference, and you can see the watch to good advantage right here, being very flat, easily sliding underneath the dress cuff. And in spite of the distance across the wrist, the fact is it wears really small for its diameter. Don't think of it as a 44, think of it as more of a 42 or a 41 in terms of how it fits, and consider it viable on a wrist as small as 14 centimeters in circumference. And again, it is very flat. Let's take a look at the hardware. It has changed in the last 2 years, as by popular demand, FP Journe has removed the former rubber bumpers, replacing them alternately with polished hardware, or in the case of the bracelet, nothing. A cleaner all-metal look, now bereft of rubber, and it continues down to the bottom where the clasp is a double deployant, and rather than the former rubber insert, we now have ceramic. The faceplate of the clasp is now a ceramic insert, as is the bezel insert. You can see that there is a little ceramic pin snap built in. The idea here with these ceramic pin snaps is that the titanium can't aggress against the ceramic, so it can't wear down the snap action that closes and retains the closure. So the tolerances will remain tight and secure and factory fresh over time, thanks to those little spring-loaded ceramic pin snaps. Removable links are fixed in place by screws, so you can easily size this at home. You can see that this is not the classic case used on the FP Journe dress watches since the 2011 Sonograph Sport, which was the first Journe sports watch. We've had this integrated bracelet case profile, which sets the sports watches apart, not just technically distinct, but also aesthetically quite different. It was also remarkably prescient, as the integrated bracelet sports watch would come into favor a few years after Journe decided that he was going to bring it back himself. A 70s style that has hit its stride just in the last 36 months of our era. So this is looking better than ever. And it has a ceramic insert, now ceramic inside the bezel for a little extra scratch resistance. We have the double dimple knurled Journe style crown, and a dial that is glossy and blue. The standard options, of course, are a little bit different, as you can get relatively dull colors or the eye-searing bright yellow lacquer. Well, this sits between them, giving you color, but again, not of the day glow variety. It is very handsome, and I would even compare it favorably, though it's a different kind of dial, to the beauty of the Chronomètre Bleu. Now, if you look carefully, you can see that the numerals are actually solid three-dimensional blocks of lume that have been placed on the lacquered base. They stand proud of the dial, and I'll demonstrate that now. You can see they do have height. They have 3 dimensions to them. And one of the advantages of getting the Journe sports watches, not just the fact that they're lighter and that they have a different style to them, but the lume is bright and very useful in the real world. Now, of course, Journe makes his own cases, bracelets, clasps, dials, and movements. So this is all in-house FP Journe, but there are only going to be 7 others in the world besides this one, because this dial was a very limited run. Taking a quick look at the other features of the dial, you can see there is a day-night indicator that sits just short of 9 o'clock, and it transitions from an ecru off-white daytime coloration. As we move into the nocturnal hours, it transitions to red. So that's your day-night indicator. We have a power reserve indicator. It's not calibrated because Journe advertises the watch's chronometric or precise power reserve when it keeps best time, being the first 120 hours, but the absolute power reserve is 160. So this indicator will indicate 160 when fully wound. We have a double-digit date, red on silver base, and you can see a very handsome serif heavy font was developed for this system. We are not using stock numerals here. There is a quick set, so you can rapidly set the double date, which feature flush discs, a rarity on big dates, and when we move The hands out of the way. Down at 6 o'clock, a smoked sapphire framed by a lovely matte titanium bezel featuring polished screws and the dial side bolts, a signature of FP Journe design. On the reverse of the case, you could see the aluminum Octa caliber 1300. That is exclusive to these watches. It used to be that the cases, bracelets, clasps, and movements were aluminum. Today, they're titanium externally, they're aluminum inside. So we have that extended power reserve, 5-position adjustment, a 21,600 vibration per hour beat rate, and it is free sprung for durability. It has a very large balance to better shake off the effects that bumps or concussions might have on timing precision. And Journe boasts, though he does not COSC certify, that his automatic movements are uniquely chronometer spec. He says that he exceeds the 3159 ISO and the COSC standards in-house. So this allegedly chronometer spec movement includes aesthetic elements unique to the sports watches, as we have this lovely nickel anthracite coating on top of the aluminum and a rotor that is exclusive to the Octa Sport calibers. All of this 30 meters water resistant. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.